Hi, everybody. If you did not get the opportunity to attend the Renweb and Schoology optional training, I just want to recap some of the things that we discussed. So I'm going to organize this in two screencasts, the first being Renweb. So the first thing we discussed was how to create a Renweb seating chart. So if you go into your main menu and you go into your classroom, once your classroom is up, what you just need to make sure is that you go to a date that is going to be applicable to having students. So I'm going to just change this to the first day of school. And Renweb's being a little slow, so just bear with me as far as processing. So you can come over on the right hand side to create your seating chart by clicking attendance seating chart. Once the screen populates, you're going to see that a seating chart is actually already created for this class. And how you would do this, excuse me, is let's see if there's a class that has not created a seating chart yet. Let's see. And bear with me. Okay, perfect. So here is how you would do it. You just are going to figure out how many rows and seats that you need. So I'm just going to put in, let's say we have 5 rows and we're going to have 4 seats deep. So that way it populates. Let me close out of this so we can see a little bit better. It's going to populate where your students could go. Before you move forward, you're going to notice that if you just click on a student, you have to configure it. So you have to actually save your seats. And then once you have established your seats and your rows, all you have to do is click on your students to begin populating them into the seats. So if you wanted to just do it alphabetically, you can do it that way. And if you need to delete a student, you just simply, mark the X, and they're going to populate back into this particular view. Now, I believe once we have established this, it's going to automatically save it. So if I were to refresh the page, if they're a returning student, then their pictures are going to show up like the first class that I did that already had the seating chart created. So it looks like some of these are not showing up yet, but I think that means just when I come out. Now you have the opportunity to take attendance using the seating chart. Where it says add code, you can just simply add your P by clicking on it, or add your A by clicking on it. Or you can still continue to take attendance in the traditional attendance view. Either one, it will be fine. So creating the seating chart, very simple. As soon as you move a student over to the seating chart, they're going to come off of your actual chart. So there's that. There's that piece. So I'm going to show you now. I'm going to actually click out of this and go back to the SIS. Now, if you need to edit your seating chart, you can just come back to your pencil. I'm going to delete this so that way, Eric, you can set up your class however you want it to go. I guess I need to hit resave. There are students placed in the rows. Oh, didn't see that. All right, so I'm going to change this so that way you have a fresh slate. Okay, so The next thing that we're going to discuss then, since attendance is done, is Report Manager. So if you're stuck in this classroom view, just come up to your waffle and click on SIS. It's going to take you back to the home page every single time. Depending on how your Schoology, or I'm sorry, how your Renweb sets up, sometimes it will automatically just take you to that classroom and then you're stuck there. So your waffle is your means of getting back to everything. I want to share some reports with you. So if you click on Report Manager in your menu, I want to help you establish your favorites. So your favorites will show all of the reports that you run regularly. So if you click on class, how you obtain your class roster, I would hit roster, and if it's not already added to your favorites, it's going to say add to favorites down here. I would add that to your favorites. You cannot save the course that you want to add. So like if you wanted to click on the courses that you wanted to rosters, then you need to click report for it to generate the actual report. So then you can hit submit, and then your reports are going to show. If you, let's see, so that is your class roster report. Another report that I recommend saving to your favorites would be your staff schedule. So if you come over to your staff schedule, then you can populate yourself over to obtain your class schedule. That's always really convenient to have, especially printed for the first day, because our attendance doesn't always follow sequential order. Let's see, what are some of the other favorites that I have in here? Those look like they're more for me. So if you just do the staff roster and your class roster, I think those are probably the two biggest reports that teachers are going to use. So I want to walk you through just reminding you of the email. So if you pop into communications, all communications of students, like to students and to parents, should be done through Renweb, so that way we can monitor and we can have that evidence as to, yes, the communication was shared. If you want to email a class, you just have to change the type. So you can email a specific class, you can email a specific student. So you would just have to come down to what class you want to send it to. You can change it to an entire grade level. So if you're a class moderator, this is how you would do it. Once you do send it to a particular student, you have to filter that student over, and you have to make sure that you click on who it should be going to. If you don't click on the options over here, when you check your recipients, there's going to be no email attached. Like, it's not going to send to anybody particular. You can always carbon copy yourself to know what your email looks like, and you'll know your email sent once the subject line disappears. So that would be our report manager. I'm reading something else. That's going to be your communications. The last thing that I want to show you in Renweb, because there are some changes here, is within the classroom. So when we click on a classroom, some new features that we have here, I want to walk you through how to change some assignment features. Remember, we are set up for total points, and then you can copy assignments to similar classes, and you can copy your categories. So for some of you, your grade books are set up like this, like you have very few things on this menu. For some, I don't know why it's set up and it shows all of them. But if you do not have all of your tools up here, click on actions. To set categories, because you have the ability to create your own categories. You can come up here into gradebook categories, and let's say you wanted to add one that said homework. You have the ability to do that. A new feature is that they have color coding. So if you wanted to assign a category, and let's say I'm going to make my homework green, I'm going to make my formatives pink, and my summatives are going to be yellow. I'm going to show you that when you go to create an assignment now, once it loads, I'm going to do a homework, and I'm just going to say 1, save and grade. Then I can obviously punch it in. But once it populates, you notice how it's green up here. So that's going to make it very nice and easy for you to organize. So you're not always going to have to come up here and click on like, okay, show me all the formatives, show me all the summatives. It will populate by color. So that is a really cool brand new feature that is for you guys. To make sure that your categories are going to be for all classes, you need to make sure that you go to your settings. Hopefully that last click did not just confuse you. You just come in here to options. In options, you can come all the way down to the bottom where it says copy to class. You can select which classes you want to copy your folder colors to. So that will be very convenient for you so that all your classes are the same. Now, if you want to copy an assignment to a similar class, keep in mind that it will only populate and be able to copy to a class that is similar in coding. So I would not be able to copy this particular class. Well, it's not going to show that I can. I don't actually teach this class. So I would only be able to copy this particular assignment to all other advanced maths. I would not be able to copy this to algebra. So that is just a feature for you guys that I wanted to show you, that if you're not using this copy and you're entering it in every single time to all of your classes, it is a great time saver. So that is a quick recap of Schoology, or I'm sorry, of Renweb. So if there's any other questions that you have about Renweb that are basic, like feature questions, please feel free to reach out. Hopefully you learned something new, and we have great success in this.